In this video, I'll be walking through my exact cold email setup from start to finish, from buying the domains, setting up the inboxes, and all the technical details. I'll be also scraping and, more importantly, enriching the leads, and then also use the tool to send out the emails. Using this exact setup, I'm able to send around 20,000 emails every month, which allowed me to close over 1 million in revenue in the last 12 months. I will show you how to do all of this on screen, and if you want to build the system for yourself, just open another tab and we can start building. So first things first, let's buy our domains. It's very important that we buy high quality domains to maximize the deliverability of our emails. And this is why you're going to use a tool called Zapmail. Before we sign up to the tool, it's always good to know how many domains we actually need for setting up our cold email infrastructure. For this, Zapmail has a so-called ROI calculator to see how many domains and inboxes you need for the emails that you want to send out. For our example, let's say we have a TAM of 15,000 people, meaning that there are 15,000 leads currently in our market which fit the exact profile that I'm looking for in an ideal client. If you do it optimally, you find around 60 to 80% of actually valid emails for them. So in the end, we will have around 10,000 emails in our email list size. So we put it here to 10,000. The optimal sequence that I'm always doing is 2 emails in a sequence because this is absolutely enough. The duration is something that I'm putting to 14 weeks because this is the duration that worked best for my own campaigns. Now it says we need around 4 domains and 10 mailboxes. So at the beginning, this is going to cost us around $90, and then from there on, $30 per month for the inboxes. Now that we know how many domains and inboxes we need, we're going to create an account for free, and then we're going to see how we can set up the domain and the inboxes directly in Zapmail. Now that we create the account, we're going to domains and we're going to see if the domain that we're looking for is still available. In my situation, let's just buy a random domain. Let's call it topcoldmail.com and let's see if it's still available. Perfect. This is still available, and it's very important that you buy .com domains because these have the highest deliverability and are most likely to land in the primary inbox. To send out the 10,000 cold emails, we're going to need the 5 domains, but I will show you on one domain how to set it up. We're going to need 2 mailboxes per domain. Here, I'm going to put my details. Now we can see that there are 2 mailboxes that we've created now, and they will need a little bit of time to set up because the good thing about Zapmail is that they also configure the DNS, DKIM, and DMARC. So this is a technical setup which is needed to be properly configured for cold emailing at scale. These are basically protocols that confirm that these emails are coming from you and are not just spam. Zapmail is going to automatically assign Google mailboxes to us, and this is always something that I recommend because based on a lot of deliverability testing, Google mailboxes are always more performant than Outlook ones. And while all of the technical setup is being handled by Zapmail, let's quickly look at the pricing. So you will have to get a subscription for around $39 a month. And this includes 10 Google mailboxes. You will have everything covered regarding the mailboxes, and this will allow you to send out these 10,000 emails. After your inboxes are set up, it's very important that you do not use these email inboxes directly for cold email. The rule of thumb is that these emails need around 2 to 3 weeks of email warm-up until they can be used for cold emailing at scale. Email warm-up is a technique where automatically emails are being sent between different inboxes in order to gradually build up the reputation and authority of the inbox and domain. For this, we can use different tools, for example, Instantly or Reach Inbox. And in this situation, we're going to use Instantly, and what you can do as soon as your inboxes are being set up, you can select them here and then you can export them directly with one click to Instantly, which is a platform that allows us to warm up the inboxes, but also allows us to send out the emails. And before exporting our inboxes to Instantly, we're going to create a free account. And before that, let's take a quick look at the pricing page. For our setup, we're going to need $30 per month on the yearly, or rather $37 per month on the growth plan. So this allows us to send out 5,000 emails each month and warm up unlimited inboxes. So after your Instantly account is set up, you can go here to export and then log into Instantly, and then they will be automatically transferred to your Instantly account. The export takes a little bit of time, and after this is being done, you will also receive an email, and the only thing that you will have to do now is go here in Instantly and click on the fire button. This basically means that the warm-up starts and that the email is being warmed up gradually. Now, after our inboxes are set up and they are now gradually warming up, we also need leads and valid email addresses to reach out. There are various ways how you can find leads and emails. The first is using databases, for example, LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Apollo. And the second option, the one that I prefer, is actually scraping, for example, websites or Google search. And because it's more efficient and it's completely for free, we're going to use the extension called Easy Scraper, which you can download on the Google Chrome store. After that, we're going to our Google search. Let's say we're looking for senior marketing managers that work in retail in Germany. For this, we need the following search query. We're going to type in this site linkedin.com, which means that we want LinkedIn profiles and also that they should be senior marketing managers and they should work in retail. And to make sure we only get leads from a specific country, in this case from Germany, we're going to click here on Tools, Advanced Search, and then we're going to click here, Region, and look for Germany. As you can see on the top right, we have around 9,000 leads, and we have to broaden our search criteria a bit, for example, to marketing manager only. And this will then allow us to find our 15,000 leads. Now to extract these leads, we're going to click here on the puzzle icon. We're going to click on Easy Scraper, the Chrome extension that we just downloaded. And then we're going to show the extension where it should click to go on the next page. So you need to select the option where it says click on the link to get to the next page, and we're going to scroll down, we're going to select it, and then we're going to use the next button to go to the next page, and the scraper can do it automatically. This is basically the only thing you have to do, and after this is done, just click here on Start the Scraping. You can of course scrape as many leads as you want, but for this video we're just going to scrape around 70. Click here on the CSV file. That we have to do now is export it to CSV. To quickly clean the sheet, we're going here to Google Sheets, and this will allow us to import this CSV file and see what we actually have scraped now. In this sheet now we have the LinkedIn URL, we have the name of the person, we have the location, the company name, as well as the job title, but the name is not really cleanly written, so we have to extract it using ChatGPT, or you can also use the Google Sheets formula. Because it's easier, I'm going to use ChatGPT, so I'm going to upload my file here and then put in this prompt, which will allow me to extract the first and the last name from this lead. We can now download the sheet again and then import to Google Sheet to quickly verify that the first name and the last name have correctly been extracted. Perfect. We can see in the last two columns we have the first name and the last name extracted, and now we can go to the important email enrichment part. Especially as our total addressable market is very small, as we were able to see in the Google search, we need to maximize the amount of emails found. So to find as many emails as possible now, we need to use as many email finding tools as possible, because one tool has emails that the other tool doesn't. As it's quite a pain to pay for a lot of subscriptions and also put the leads into one tool, then verify it, then put in the next tool, and so on. We're going to use a tool called Better Contact. Better Contact is a data enrichment tool which aggregates every relevant email finder on the market, 20 plus data providers, and it also verifies the emails directly in one. It has a 50 free credit trial, and as we can see on the pricing page, for around 1,000 emails, it costs $49, and only if the email is actually valid, it's cost 1 credit. And to get started now, we're going to create an account completely for free. So we click here on Start for Free. We can either sign in with Google or with an email. And going back to our Google Sheet now, in order to enrich it, we're going to export it. We click here, Downloads, and then CSV. And then we can go to Better Contact, to File Enrichment, and then upload that file. We will click on Enrich a new file, upload the file that we've just downloaded from Google Sheets, and then we will be able to map the columns. At the same time, over 20 data providers are being requested to find the best actually valid email for these leads. After the enrichment is done, we can check out the emails. If the email is actually invalid, we also don't get charged anything. We can either export the file as a CSV, or what we can also do is we can push it directly to Instantly, which is actually quite handy. We can now go back to Instantly, and after the 2 to 3 week period has fully passed, I always recommend 3 weeks, we can create a new campaign, because we also now have the enriched leads directly inside Instantly. We're going to click on Add New, and we're going to just call it My Campaign, Add the Leads, right? So we will add the leads that we just scraped and also enriched with valid email addresses. Before taking a look at the actual copy, we're going to click here on Options, and we are going to use 10 mailboxes, the ones that we've set up. And then what we'll also have to change is that we only send 150 daily limits. This means that 10 mailboxes send 15 emails a day. Leave the configuration as it is, because this is already set up optimally. And then we click here on Save. And after this, we're going to look at the Schedule tab. I would also leave it as it is, but if you live, for example, in a different time zone, you could also put a different time zone, because now the emails are being only sent when people usually work. Now looking at the copy, the actual email that we're going to send out, it's very important that you keep the emails under 100 words, also that you talk about relevant pain points, and if you have, also use social proof. Which is also very important is that you do not use very salesy language. You do not want to sell something directly, and which is always working very well is that you actually give something for free, like a lead magnet or a free Loom video where you explain something. So here's a cold email template that has always been working quite well for me, always using a subject line in low caps. We will call it inventory swings. We're going to click here, and then we're going to also use the variables. Another important thing so that Google does not directly recognize that you send the same email over and over is that you use so-called spin tags. This is something we can paste here. This always starts with random, and then you can use different greetings. I would use as much spin tags as possible in your whole email and changing different words. To add the second email, we're going to click here on add step, and then we can use a different email, which also, again, is not salesy, but really tries to help and deliver value. After all of this is set up, we can go back to options and then check again if everything is set up correctly, and then we can click on launch, and we have launched our first cold email campaign. There is my full cold email setup, and I will put also a link in the description which will also include tried and tested cold email templates which allowed me to close over 1 million revenue in the last 12 months. Now there is one thing which I haven't talked about. That thing is clay.com. If you have heard about clay.com, you know it's one of the most effective and also best tools on the market for cold email. But if you don't, you owe it to yourself to look at my next video where we'll show you how to master it as quickly as possible. You can directly implement it into your workflow, create thousands of super qualified leads, and also add more revenue to your business. And if you're serious about cold emailing and outbound, I will see you in the next video.